Today, HTC presented here on the IFA in Berlin the Desire 510. We have known the specs from the press information before, but now it's the first time we can try it out and have it in our palm, because this is very special. First of the dimensions, it's 70 by 140 by 10 millimeters, and especially the weight, 158 grams. This is really heavy, but there is reason for that, because that frame going one times around over here is totally made of metal, and not just a thin thing, but really massive. You can feel that, you can hear that. That's very special, and it's going up to the front down here. So for all of you who would like to have, let's say a strange smartphone, not these very thin and seem to break smartphones, and this might resist a fall a little bit better than all the other phones with a plastic frame around it, might be interested of this phone. But we have plastic too on the back side, a little bit matte and a little bit like rubber, the feeling, so having a good grip for the palm. But I guess the way better news is that you can remove the backside and the battery. This one has 2100 milliampere hours, and by the way, here is a slot for micro SIM and micro SD card, supporting up to 128 gigabyte officially, so the maximum at the moment you can get. Unfortunately, the internal memory is just 8 gigabyte only. So leaving a net, let's see in the settings over here, leaving a net memory storage of around about 4.25 gigabyte. All right, this is not the final software, I guess, but for having a clue, I guess this is the storage you should calculate with. So it's no problem for normal users having, let's say, 50 or 100 apps or something. You can remove, of course, normal apps to the SD card, but not all. If you have apps very close to the system or performance critical apps, these have to remain in the internal memory. So this is the memory size you should calculate with. So if you're having, let's say, 500 apps or more, you should calculate this. But if you're having just 50 or 100 apps, most of them you can remove to the SD card, no problem at all. Yeah, one more special thing about this Desire 510 is the processor, because it's the first one, Android at least, with 64-bit support. So it's a Snapdragon 410 510 by Qualcomm. But you should know that it's at the moment, at least, nothing you can do with, because you would first need Android L, so the next version of the Android operating system, and you need apps that are compatible to 64-bit. So at the moment, you can do anything with that. But I guess that this is a small hint by HTC that this device will get Android L, and at least the HTC apps like the browser here will get 64-bit support. But let's see, maybe we can make a comparison before and after 32 and 64-bit. I'm very interested in that. Yeah, processor is 4 cores by 1.2 gigahertz, 1 gigabyte RAM. And the other thing, of course, is the display. Best last. LCD, 4.7 inches, 480 by 854 pixels, so coming to a pixel density of around about 208 ppi. That's not too much, but as you can see here, for example, in the menu, this is user interface is Sense 6, of course, but without that great feature of the M8 I love most, that you can have that double tap to wake. This is not supported, but all the other things are Sense 6. So you can see it's no problem at all to read all these tiny texts here in the app launcher, but it's nothing for multimedia fans, of course, but for normal users like you and me, no problem at all, but you should know this. But there is more, unfortunately, because I'm not quite sure at the moment if this is a problem because this is not final hardware or if this will be the same on the final product, because I realized that if you're just not looking very straight down to the display, it's getting darker or brighter, just the way, depending on the way which kind of dimension direction you use. I hope you can see this in the video, but here in nature it's very irritating for the eye because the texts are getting thin and not good to read. At least here, these with a bright background in the settings here. It's okay. It's just 199 euros recommended retail price. I know. But nevertheless, I guess it doesn't matter how big a display is or how how high the pixel density is, but it has to be good quality so that you can read your contents without any problems, even in bright sunlight. And I could imagine that if this will be the case in the final Desire 510, this is a problem. So I would everybody recommend to wait a little to that we have that final product here and can see how the display quality is. But at the moment, I am kind of astonished at least. But coming back to the specifications, we have LTE, dual cell HSPA, meaning we have up to 42 gigabyte per second in 3G networks, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 4.0. You have by the way, we can see front camera, just only 640 by 480 pixels, but on the back side we have 5 megapixels. Is not too much, but you can live with that. But videos in full HD, I'm very surprised of that. So at least video quality seems to be good. And that's, I hope, enough for a first impression of the HTC Desire 510 here from the IFA in Berlin. Thanks for watching. Take care.